All right. What is up, everybody? Happy Monday. We got Model Monday Live back. It's been far too long. Man, it's been a crazy month this April, I gotta tell you. A lot going on this month, that's for sure. So, we're getting everything ready for the big tournament that's coming up at the end of the year, the World Championship of Speed Modeling. I've been working with the crew over at Onshape. I've been learning Onshape and making some content, some tips and tricks, and kind of really documenting my journey as a CAD expert from one 3D CAD platform, moving over to a different 3D CAD platform. We're really adding that to my toolkit so that I can do both SolidWorks and Onshape, and making a lot of cool content about that. That's had me pretty busy, doing a lot of 3D printing, 3D modeling, 3D printing. Very strongly considering getting the new Prusa that just came out, the MK4. So if anybody out there in the chat has that, let me know what you think about that in the chat. Or if you have it and you're watching the recording, let me know down in the comments. I have the MK3S, so I am, really strongly considering getting it just so that I have a second printer, because a lot of the stuff that I do is, multiple components that go together. And so if you have more than one printer, you can print them both at the same time, and that saves you the amount of time it takes you to do prototyping. So definitely considering it. Victor, what's up? Victor K in the chat, what's up? Says, hearing great things about the Prusa MK4, but also great things about the Bamboo. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly where I am, like in between the two, because I'm hearing nothing but amazing things about the Bamboo. So I don't know what is going to happen here. And Andrea says, ordered one already. Awesome. Yeah, that's cool. And let's see here. And Ravi says, what's up, Toby? Yeah, what's up, Ravi? Great to see you. Also, big Voron printer fan if you're looking to build your own printer. Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, and when I first read that and I read big printer, that's the other thing I was thinking, is that I know that Prusa is either already released or just about to release their large format printer, the XL or whatever they're calling it, the mega printer. So that's another thing that I'm looking at too. So lots of different stuff going on here in the world of TooTallToby, but I know that's not why you guys are here. You guys are here for the monthly, formerly weekly, 3D CAD modeling competition amongst the chat. Who is the fastest in the chat, and what CAD are they using? And that's the thing about TooTallToby, is that we welcome everyone from every CAD system. And so today we are going to be celebrating the leaderboard from last month. And you can see here in the top 10 or the top 11, whatever I grabbed here of the screenshot, the variety of CAD systems that are used to run these speed modeling challenges. Whether we're doing the leaderboard challenge or Model Monday Live or the annual tournament, all CAD are welcome here. It's all about trying to figure out what is the best tool for the job that you have, or, just trying to get as good as you can with the software that you've been provided. Sometimes we find ourselves in spots where the company makes the decision and, we say, no, you should get this program, but the company says, no, we're going to stay with our current program. And so what can you do? You can learn that program to the best of your ability, get as fast as you possibly can. And as you can see here in this leaderboard, I mean, it really is a variety of CAD systems out there. And sometimes, it makes me wonder whether or not it's more about the wizard than the wand. Who out there is running these CAD systems and how fast are they? And it's just super impressive to me to see all these different CAD systems taking part in this thing. So you can see here that last month we had an ANSYS Space Claim user take the crown, first place on the leaderboard. We see that SOLIDWORKS 2019 came in second, Onshape coming in third. We got SOLIDWORKS Autodesk Inventor, SolidWorks Fusion, SolidWorks CATIA, FreeCAD making I think a debut appearance here on the leaderboard. So lots of cool stuff here happening on the leaderboard last month, and that was very exciting to watch as well. And Stryker is here. What's up, James? How you doing? Welcome. Thanks for joining us today. So today what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 CAD speed modeling challenges for you to try out your skills against the rest of the chat, see who's the fastest in the chat, regardless of the CAD system. We're going to do the TooTallToby t-shirt giveaway. We're going to review some speed runs from last month, some of the stuff that I showed you on the board there a moment ago. We'll click through them and watch some of the videos. And of course, we're going to interact with the best chat ever. So if you're out there and you want to support this channel, there's lots of ways you can do it, but the best and easiest way is just to hit that like button, leave me a comment, engage in the chat, subscribe, click the subscribe button. These are all things that help out supporting the channel because they help the algorithm, the parent company, they help them to see that this channel is doing good and it's engaging, and that helps to automatically suggest this channel and these videos to other people who maybe have similar interests. So just in case you're ever wondering why people say that, like, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. That's the reason why. That's what's happening in the background. As you get more and more popular, the channel, the platform, YouTube in this case, wants to provide you to more people because that's going to get, you know, more visibility. It's going to help them as well. So I see right now that we've got 11 people watching. I see we've got 9 likes. So let's see what we can do to get those to match up. We'll make sure that they are, you know, right in sync with one another. We'll see what we can do about that. But that's pretty good ratio there, I gotta say. And of course, there's some other ways that you can help out the channel, but we can talk about those just a little bit later in the presentation. I do want to remind you guys one other thing I've been working on this month. I've given it a little bit of attention. I'm going to do a lot more attention next week. I'm going to give this a real look over. But if you want to take a look at it, TooTallToby.com/tips is a page on my website that's not yet made it into the header bar. So the only way you can get there is with a direct URL. But TooTallToby.com/tips will allow you to kind of browse through some of the tips and tricks that I've been creating, that I've been posting on the YouTube channel. It's got a search function, so you can actually search and try to find a specific tip based on a keyword. And it's also got tags to help you find specific tips based on the topics that they might be pertaining to. So just kind of a newer area of the website. If you guys want to help me beta test it, always appreciate the feedback. And the way you could provide that feedback would just be by going to the contact link up here at the top of the page. You can send me a message if something looks out of line, or if you have a suggestion on how we can maybe make things a little bit better. So always appreciate that. And of course, I got to give a huge shout out to the crew over at SolidWorks because, you know, nothing is more frustrating than getting a new computer and right away running into critical resource errors when it comes to working with SolidWorks. And that's what the team at SolidWorks will help you avoid. If you are ever in the market for a new computer, you can check out mysolidbox.com. They're going to help you get a computer that's really spec'd out properly for what you do, but they're going to also go through and make tweaks to Windows and make tweaks to the BIOS to make sure that that computer really is optimized and really is using the hardware. And these are things that a lot of times you have to ask your IT department to do. Well, if you work with the team at SolidWorks and you buy the computer from there, it's just going to be optimized for professional CAD or CAM engineers right out of the box. So be sure to check out mysolidbox.com next time you need a computer. They're a great company, great partner to work with, and they've been huge in helping the support and the growth of TooTallToby. All right, with all that out of the way, let's get into our first challenge. I'm going to show you a 2D print, and I'm going to challenge you to turn that into a 3D model as quickly as you can, and then to calculate the mass of that model and enter that mass into the YouTube chat. So on the print, there will be a question, what is the mass of this part? You have to answer that question in the YouTube chat. The basic rules are that you can use any CAD package as long as you can input a custom density and you can output mass. And you want to make sure you use the specified precision. One of these models has 3-place precision. So make sure you use the specified precision, otherwise it's not going to be counted as right. First person to answer correctly in the chat will be declared the winner. And the materials that we're going to be using today are going to be the same as what we've been using for the past couple of years in this format. So inch pound second for the units, or MMGS for the units, and the materials are plain carbon steel, 1060 aluminum, and ABS plastic. But just be careful, make sure the densities of the materials that are listed here match up with the densities on your CAD system, or else you're not going to get the right answer. And as far as advanced rules go, this is meant to be fun and good-spirited. Sometimes I'll make mistakes. I'll maybe miss a dimension on the print or something like that. And the Ivan exploit is permitted for those of you who like to look for spots to use the Ivan exploit. It is permitted in today's competition. All right, so with all that being said, I think we're ready to flip over to full screen here, and you guys are ready to take on this challenge. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Nope. 3, 2, 1. Go. So here is the challenge for today. A little bit of a recycled print from a few years back, but some changes to this print. It's not exactly the same. Some of the dimensions are changed, and some of the geometry has changed as well. So this is called frame mount. This is a model that's in millimeters. It's in plain carbon steel with 7,800 kilograms per cubic meter. And the question that you need to answer is, what is the mass of this part in XXXX grams? Now, there's a tolerance of plus or minus 3 grams, which I think is pretty generous considering the analytic nature of the geometry, but it is plus or minus 3 grams across 4 places. I mean, you know, that's still pretty tight. So what is the mass of this part in 4 place significant digits, XXXX grams? Looking for a whole number here in grams and looking for a tolerance. Plus or minus 3 grams. Take note of those purple fillets. Take note of the fact that this model is symmetric in 2 directions. That will be very helpful for things like the radius 14 and the radius 10 and the radius 4 up in the corners. You know, they're going to be repeated in all 4 directions. The wall thickness of that little lower section that's sticking down, you know, 6 millimeters, 6 millimeters. It's 6 millimeters on each side. And that is symmetric in both directions. So everything that you need should be on this print. I am very confident that this print has everything you need. So go ahead and take a screen capture. You can use the Windows snipping tool, or you can use paint.net, or you can use Snagit, you know, whatever it is that you want to use. And we got Joe Lance in the chat today. What is up, Joe? How you doing? Welcome, welcome. And thanks so much for joining us here on Model Monday Live. Give this model a try if you're feeling up to it. It's a fun little model here, the frame mount. And with that, I'm gonna flip back over to our presentation today, the presentation of Model Monday Live, and we're gonna talk a little bit about what else is going on in this world. We got another big event happening here today. Not only are we doing Model Monday Live, but we're finally doing the t-shirt giveaway from March, because we haven't had a chance to do the t-shirt giveaway because April has been so crazy. So all good, my friend. Yes, good. That is good to hear, Joe. I'm very happy to hear it. All is good on my end as well. Now take a look at this leaderboard. I'll tell you what makes me happy is seeing a leaderboard like this. This is crazy. I mean, this is just awesome. It makes me so happy. Here's the live feed. TooTallToby.com/leaderboard is the website if you want to check out the website. And you can see that the way that the leaderboard works is that you're presented with a challenge, like this month, April. Your challenge is to create these 1, 2, 3 models. And when you go to create these models, you have to click this button here that says compete, and that will load up a clock. And then you have to show that clock while you're creating these 3 models. And what we can see here is that last month in March, Juiced SCH finished all 3 models in 2 minutes and 47 seconds. So under 1 minute per model, which is just insane. It's so fast. Anton came in a close second here with 3 minutes, 36 seconds using SOLIDWORKS. And Airwick, good friend of the show, came in here in 3rd place using Onshape in 3 minutes and 58 seconds. So this is just crazy. These are crazy times. But the fun thing about this competition is that it is truly in the nature of a speed run, meaning that you can just sit there and grind and grind and grind and practice and practice and practice until you get what you think is the best possible workflow, and then you can make the run. But you do have to make the full run in one go. You can't like do the first section and then stop and then practice the second section and then start again. No. You got to do all 3 of them right in a row. And so after each person submits their time and provides a link to their video, I review the video, and if it all looks good, I post a video here so that everyone can see what they're doing with that video. Whoops, hold on a second, guys, sorry. I jumped into full screen by accident there. Let me try that again. I jumped into full screen and like totally messed up my layout here. Sorry, I don't know how to use the internet. That's my problem. Hold on a second. Gotta try this through a different route here. Let's try this again. Okay, there we go. That works a little bit better. And I think we want this one here. Okay, here we go. Take two. So here we can see JSJ Juiced SCH, going through here, doing this thing using ANSYS Space Claim, which is, it's really cool that we get all these different CAD systems in here doing this. And you can see making this first part here, which is this bracket that's showing you can kind of see it in the upper left there above the clock. It's supposed to have a mass of 520 grams. So looks like Jay Juiced here is using a technique of modeling just half of the model and then going to mirror it, using a lot of auto dimension functionality and some, auto relationships, getting in here, doing some basic layout work here, doing that extrusion in 2 different directions, and finishing up here by creating this kind of rib shape, which really, I think a clever way of doing this with just 2 rectangular extrusions rather than doing it as a traditional rib, which is how I did it in the original Sol video. Recognizes that both those fillets are supposed to be 15 millimeters, mirroring at the end, and then assigning the material and showing the mass. So really, really cool. You can see the mass there, 520 was shown on the screen. Really, really cool this was able to happen here. Airwick in the chat saying that YouTube ate my comment. Oh no. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Airwick. I don't know where it went. I have it set to live chat. I did remember to do that today. So anyhow, here you can see Jay Shoes jumping into part number 2. It's only not showing up, huh, when you put in the number. That's weird. This is my answer. Okay, well, I see your answer now. Nice job. So here you can see in part 2, I mean, I think a lot of us did this the same way, creating that revolve first. But if I just roll back here on the clock a little bit to the end of the first model that Juice did here, like, look how fast he was able to create this model. And I love this use of just kind of tilting that line there and then using that to create the offset. Like, that's a bit of functionality that I certainly don't know how to do in SolidWorks, to just tilt that like that. I mean, I would have to delete the vertical relationship and then go in and add the sketch relationship, and then certainly we could do that. But you can just see how quickly this geometry was able to come together, and very impressive how fast this geometry is able to come together and how fast Juiced is moving his mouse. I think it's fair to say that the layout itself has some snapping going on, because it's just like, it almost looks like it's moving too fast, almost like it's sped up, but I don't think it's sped up. I think what's happening is that it's just moving into the grid spacing, and that's why it kind of looks jumpy as Juiced is laying out this model. But just super impressive workflows here, and really moving through this geometry quickly, and really came up with a good plan, grinded it a little bit, to come up with some different techniques to flow through these different models. And, the techniques are efficient. There's no doubt. I mean, quickly going through here and creating that layout, it's not just being able to quickly click around, but it's also having a good plan and kind of knowing how different features are going to work together. So Context says quickly selecting faces and regions faster than in SolidWorks. Yeah, it's, I agree. I mean, when it comes to, stuff like doing these extrusions, it really, I think you're spot on with your comment there, Victor. It really, does come together quickly. And then Airwork following up there and saying Space Claim has really optimized for quick conceptual stuff. Yeah, so I don't know. Overall, very, very impressive that run from Juiced SCH. If anybody wants to watch that, if you want to watch it maybe in slow motion so you can see some more of what was being done there, head on over to TooTallToby.com/leaderboard. You can watch that entire run or any of the runs from anybody who did it last month. We had 21 submissions here. Now, I know that this one here, Thomas using SolidWorks and Thomas using SolidWorks is really the same person. So I took his name off of the list, and I took my name off of the list as well. But that leaves us with everybody else who is eligible to win the t-shirt today. So let's bring up the magic wheel here. Here we go. There's the wheel. Everybody's name is on that wheel. Everybody who competed last month. And let's take a look here and see what kind of, oh, actually, you know what? Wait, one of these is not verified. Raphael. I could never get in touch with Raphael to get him verified. So let me get rid of that one as well. Okay, here we go. So let's give this wheel a spin. Let's see who is the big winner of the TooTallToby March 2023 Speed Modeling Leaderboard Challenge t-shirt giveaway. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, go. give this wheel a spin, and let's see what we come up with. It looks like Chadwick. So Chadwick between CAD classes, congratulations. Woohoo! So congratulations to Chadwick. Chadwick between CAD classes is going to win the big t-shirt for March. And you know, guys, I'm feeling pretty generous here today, and I feel like I waited a little too long to do this giveaway. So let's roll this bad boy again. Let's do another one here. I'll get Chadwick's name off of there so that he doesn't win twice, but let's roll this thing again. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, spin it. All right, let's see. We're going to do 2 t-shirts this month. 2 t-shirt giveaways this month. Let's see who gets the second one. And it is Marcel Decline. Woohoo! All right, Marcel. So congratulations to both Chadwick and Marcel. We will definitely be reaching out to you and getting you those t-shirts. And we got Juiced in the chat as well. What's up, Juiced? Welcome, welcome. My monthly challenge is coming soon. Well, man, your one from last month was super impressive, so I can't wait to see what you do this month for the April one. There are still a few days left in the month here, everybody. So, you know, the leaderboard challenge here. Whoops, let me turn off the wheel there. The leaderboard challenge is still open here. I know a lot of people like to wait until the last week so they don't give away their secret skills, their secret workflows, but the challenge is still live, and you still have a chance to come through here and try to beat this one for the end of the month. I'm trying to do it in Onshape. I haven't done it in SolidWorks yet either, but I'm going to try and do it in Onshape this month. Already started filming some of my videos there for doing this thing in Onshape, so you guys can use whatever CAD system you want, and if you don't have a CAD system, you can check out the free Onshape build, or you can check out FreeCAD. There's some other software out there that is free that you can access. So, but the one I've been using, like I said, has been Onshape this month. So, cool, guys. Well, I'm just making a quick note here that Chadwick and Marcel were the big winners there. So, congratulations again to Chadwick and to Marcel, and we will definitely reach out to them and get them their t-shirts. And Victor says this month has been crazy. We'll see if I get a break to make a submission in time. Yeah, I completely agree. It has absolutely been crazy this month. So it's good. It's good to hear that it's been crazy for you too, Victor. We're in it together, bro. All right. So congratulations to our winners. An announcement here before we move on to the answer to our challenge is that 11/11/23/11/11/23 is the date for the big heads-up match, the finals of our tournament. The 3D CAD Speed Modeling World Championship has been scheduled. We're going to do our qualifiers in June. So we got April, May, June. So in less than 2 months, the qualifiers will begin. The qualifiers are going to use a very similar mechanism to the leaderboard. We probably won't do the recording, the screen recording part of it, because that's gonna, I don't want to omit people just because they don't have a recording mechanism or like a YouTube channel or whatever. There's some extra hurdles you have to go through there. So we'll probably just do it kind of like honor system, with the qualifier being the leaderboard challenge. And then if somebody if they say that they got a really good time and they didn't, well, it's going to become pretty obvious when it comes to the tournament. So I'm not really that worried about it. I hope that everybody will be honorable. But if anybody isn't, they're just going to get smoked and embarrassed in the tournament anyway. So hopefully that'll be enough motivation for nobody to lie, right? So that's the plan for our upcoming tournament this year. I'm super excited about the tournament. I think it's going to be awesome. We're going to have all kinds of cool new functionality, and 11/11/2023 is going to be the final date, the final battle, semifinals and finals taking place that day. So with all that, I want to say thank you again and congrats to the leaders, the winners of the leaderboard. I want to remind you to please be sure to like. If you haven't hit the like button yet, please take a moment, hit the like button, add some comments if you're watching the recording, and subscribe. And don't forget that the softest shirts in the CAD game, just like the one we just gave away, just like that one hanging up back there, are available for sale over at TooTallToby.com/merch. They are amazing. It's good, if you already have one, maybe buy a couple more, right? They're that soft. I wear mine every day. So, they're really soft, and you can wear them multiple days in a row, and, nobody complains. All right, so looks like we got some people coming in here. X-Dads is coming in saying it's probably what everybody else is saying. So I'll just jump in and say that's my answer too. I like that strategy. X-Dads, very nicely done. So what is the mass of this part? You know, what would be the strategy to build this part if you were working in a 3D CAD system? Well, for me, what I would probably do is I would probably start out here on the front plane, and I would create a shape that looks something like this. And then I would mirror that shape across the center line. So I'd create a mirror line here, and then I would mirror that shape across the center line so that I've got something like this. Maybe add the fillets, or in the case of SolidWorks, I can extrude it as a thin feature with the fillets all in one shot. So I would extrude that out to a depth of 70 millimeters in this direction, and that would give me kind of that first shape. A lot of times when I'm taking a strategy for creating 3D models, I just think of the model in different sections. So one section here is kind of like this C section, this horizontal C section. One section is this kind of dog bone section in the middle, and one section is this extra shape, this square shape that's sticking out of the bottom. So now that I've got the C section created, now what's going to be next? Well, I think probably for the next section, what I would do is just create this circle here at 40 millimeters and then extrude that up to the height, which is going to be an extrude offset from surface here. So create that, extrude it up there, offset from surface 18 millimeters. And then after I have that circle, then I can easily get in here and create a rectangle on that top surface of the circle and extrude that down to this lower surface. And then I can go in and I can add those 8 millimeter fillets. After that, I could maybe consider putting in the 15 millimeter through hole. Sometimes I save them for the very end. Sometimes I would just do it right away. In this case, I don't think it really matters, because for my final feature, what I would do is I would just sketch on this underside surface a thin rectangle with the fillets included in the rectangle, and then I would extrude that as a thin feature down to the depth that's specified, which is 25 millimeters here. So that's how I would do it. Hopefully that's something similar to how you guys did it. I know I left out a couple of features, the 14 millimeter fillets, the 3 millimeter fillets, but just as far as coming up with a game plan, that's kind of how I would do it. And Dot says hi. All right. Yep. Tell her I said hi also. Thanks very much, Joe. Appreciate it. And tell Dot that TooTallToby says hi. All right. So now let's find out who gave this thing a shot and who got it correct. So we got here. Let's go back a little bit here. Victor coming in 2467 and then revising to 2476. You are allowed to revise in this thing. Airwick coming in 2476. X-Dads coming in 2463. Nicely done, X-Dads. James coming in here 2472. Revising to 2476. X-Dads revising to 2476. And those are the only answers that I'm seeing here. And let's find out who is correct. The correct answer is 2476. Woohoo! So congratulations to Victor coming in with the correct answer first, 2476. But really, congratulations to everyone in the chat who took this challenge, who got through it, who came up with an answer. Very nicely done to everyone who took this challenge. Congratulations. All right, GG to everyone. Yes, indeed. Well done, well done. Very nice. All right, cool. Well, that's the end of our first challenge. Let's move on to our second challenge here and find out who is the fastest in the chat on this Model Monday Live. And for this challenge, whoops, okay, working challenge is gonna go live. 3, 2, 1, go. So, sorry guys, I jumped the gun on that one and now it's showing. So let me just switch over to full screen so everybody can see it and grab a screen capture. A little bit too quick on my scroll wheel there. A little too quick with the mouse. So 3, 2, 1, go. Let's see who can finish this one and get it correct first. So this model is in plastic, ABS plastic, and it's also in inches. So all of our friends in Europe, I'm sure, are rejoicing at the idea of working in English units rather than working in metric units. What is the mass of this part in 0.xxx pounds? And the tolerance for this thing is plus or minus 0.002 grams. So although, I'm sorry, that should say pounds, 0.002 pounds. Pounds, not grams. So although we are looking at this thing although we're looking at this thing, it is going to be in English units, and just ignore that tolerance. That tolerance should be plus or minus 0.002 pounds. I will change that in just a moment. I know some of you are still trying to grab the screenshot, so I don't want to mess you up too bad. But after you grab that screenshot, I'll make a quick change there. 0.002 pounds for that one. SolidWorks wouldn't open, so I started late. Okay, well, I'm hoping you're up and running now, James. So, all right. I hope that was enough time for everybody to grab a screenshot using your favorite screen capture software, whatever that happens to be. This is kind of a cool model, I think. You know, definitely one that, you know, has some cool elements to it. All right. Nuno is here. What's up, Nuno? No. Nuno, you're not late. A wizard arrives exactly on time, right? So welcome. Thanks for joining us today. We're just getting into this challenge. I just showed it, so you still got time to grab a screen capture and to give this one a try. This is in ABS, and this is in inches. I know you love working in inches, Nuno, so it came in just the right time. And AJM says, Toby, did you ever try to do anything of this in AutoCAD Mechanical, or is it a no-go? So I, got my start, like many of us, in AutoCAD 2D. Worked with it until between version 13 and version 14. So that was probably just before, I know there was like version AutoCAD 2000. So I think that came out after version 14. So, we're talking about like late 90s, used 2D AutoCAD, but in those versions, in version 13 and version 14, you could create solid geometry. Even though it was a 2D program, it did have the ability to create solid geometry. But I never moved into like Mechanical Desktop or AutoCAD Mechanical, and then eventually, Inventor or Fusion. I never moved into them. We certainly have users who are running, that software. And the cool thing about the leaderboard is when someone is running, a different program, like Chadwick. Here's Chadwick, who just won a T-shirt earlier tonight. Won a T-shirt, and Chadwick is using Autodesk Inventor. So if you ever wanted to see what it looks like for someone to create some of these models using a different CAD package, this is one way that you can find out. Another way that you can find out is sometimes what happens is that a user will actually, do the Model Monday live challenges or the practice model challenges, and then in the comments they'll say, hey, here's how I did this. Check out my channel. This is how I did this. So I know Erwick posts a lot of his stuff using Onshape, where he does the practice models challenges from the TooTallToby website, and then creates those models in Onshape. I know that Victor does it a lot using SolidWorks, posts a model on his channel so you can see how it was done. So there are some places where you can kind of see how other people are maybe doing these challenges using other CAD systems. Me, I cut my teeth using SolidWorks as far as 3D CAD solid modeling, and now I'm doing a lot more in Onshape, and those are the main two packages that I'm using for my presentations, for my videos and stuff. But certainly, as long as, I know Inventor, like you can see here, Inventor lets you program a custom density, and I know that, I don't know if AutoCAD, if those versions of AutoCAD or AutoCAD Mechanical allows you to input a custom material density. If it does, then yeah, you should be good to go. You should be able to get in here and create it using something like that. Great question. Great question. And of course, if you guys have any other questions, just let me know. Nuno says inches are the devil's preferred units. Yes, very nice, very nice. And we got Victor coming in with an answer, and then Erwick coming in with an answer, and then Victor revising his answer. I like it. And now he's in Revit. Okay, yeah. So AJM is saying that he's was working with AutoCAD and then got into Plant 3D, Plant Layout, and now working with Revit. Which, correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding is Revit is more for like construction, architectural type of work. If you're in that field, then it really wouldn't make sense. I mean, certainly you can design your house in a program like SolidWorks, but does it really make sense when there's other? It's kind of like you could use a screwdriver as a hammer if you wanted to. It'll work, but there's much better tool available for that, and so just use a hammer if you can, but not always an option. I want to remind you guys that I did do a very long series of training classes earlier this year, taking pictures of a bass guitar, dismantling that bass guitar, and then modeling that bass guitar in SolidWorks start to finish. Everything, including the truss rod and the electronics, really everything except for the strap. I didn't model the strap. I thought I was gonna. We did the strap buttons, but we didn't actually do the strap. The reason I just want to keep reminding you guys about this is because this is not over yet. I need to put the base on my workbench and reassemble it and resolder it and test it and make sure it's working. And then I'm probably gonna test drive it for a little bit, and then we are gonna give that bass guitar away. So this is still an ongoing project. We are still giving this away to somebody in the chat or somebody in the comments. I just don't want you guys to think that I completely forgot about this before we did the giveaway. It's not that. It's just after I took it apart, I got slammed with work, and I just haven't been able to get the time that I need to put this back together. So I figure I'm just gonna live stream one day. It'll be kind of a boring live stream, but I'll just live stream myself at the workbench, putting this thing together, soldering the electronics, testing it, doing some basic setup, like doing the intonation on the neck by setting the truss rod and setting the saddle heights and everything. And then, I mean, maybe it's not that boring. I don't know. I think it's probably boring if you're not. Depends how into music and guitar setup you are, but maybe you'll still find it interesting just as a mechanical engineer. But I'm going to go through and set that all up, and then once I set it up, I was going to maybe make a couple of songs with it, show you guys how it plays, and then we will still be giving that bass guitar away. I'll still mail it out to somebody in the chat. So, Anti-Venom in the chat, what's up, what's up? Great to see you in here. Old friend of the show. Wonderful RKO icon. Great to see you in here. RKO. Guys, don't forget, if you're watching the channel, be sure to like, be sure to subscribe, be sure to comment. A great way to support the channel. All right, and while we are looking at this, I just wanted to remind you again about the tips page. Got to remember about that. So you just go TooTallToby.com/tips. It's a hidden page. It's not available yet for everyone, but, well, actually it is available. You just have to know the URL directly. And just take a look at this here and see what you think. If you have any suggestions, any feedback. Actually, I'm going to update this probably next week. So maybe if you just want to kind of look at it, and then you can let me know after next week. But it is filtered. We are filtering through here. Still updating some changes here. But I think this is going to be cool. I think it's going to be a nice repository for people if they like forget how to do certain things, just to be able to kind of click through visually and see what this is. There's a couple other things I think I'm going to add to this, so hold your feedback until the next build of this comes out. But if you want to take a look at it, if you want to thumbnail it or send it to other SolidWorks and Onshape enthusiasts, because I'm going to put some of my Onshape tips in here too, feel free to do that. Let's see here. I want to remind everybody about the Practice Models playlist. This is on the main TooTallToby YouTube page. So if we go to YouTube, youtube.com/TooTallToby, we've got a section for playlists here. And in the playlist section, there's a section here called 3D Modeling Practice. 56 videos in here now. So that's probably, between 45 and 50 practice models, and then between 5 and 10 tutorials, explanations of how to do those practice models. So, or between 5 and 15, I should have said. 10 and 15, I don't know. So, it's like I'm doing a tolerance stack in my head as I'm just talking here and scrolling up and down. So, just whenever you guys meet somebody who's trying to learn more about 3D CAD, send them over here, send them the link to this playlist. It's really helpful. Helps me grow the channel, helps me keep in touch with everybody, continue to build the network, and, a lot more coming on that front as well in the near future. Lots of models. I actually purged a lot of these older ones and started recreating them with a new layout. So just, learning as we go through here. All right, and I think before we take a look at the correct answer, let's take a look at another run here. Let's take a look at Airwick's run, since Airwick's in the chat here today. Let's take a look at Airwick's run and see what he did here using Onshape to create these models. So we get in here, create a new part studio, okay, creating a new part in here. And once we create this new model, looks like Airwork's going to start out by doing a rectangle, using some auto dimensioning in Onshape, using some relationships in Onshape to get these things to hook together, using some smart dimensions here to locate that. Onshape, a lot of times what you do is you create kind of a layout with multiple contours, and that way you can use that layout multiple times in order to create your extrusion. So you can see the first extrusion was the rectangle with the half circle hole in it. Then the second circle was second extrusion was able to use that same sketch again. So kind of like contour selection in SolidWorks, but Onshape just seems to, it's just, I don't know how to say why exactly, but it just seems to be a little bit more adept at using that technique. Maybe it's because the sketch doesn't get absorbed into the tree. Maybe it's maybe there's something else going on there, but it's just I don't know. It just seems very intuitive to use that layout, where in SolidWorks, I usually prefer to create more explicit features that just kind of contain the whole sketch. So let's see here. Now we can see that Airwick is going through and creating the rib shape, which was done with an L, a rectangle that basically got turned into an L, and then filleting off both of those, and then finishing off here with probably a mirror, right? Finishing this thing off here with a mirror. So selecting the part first, selecting the mirror plane. I like that pre-selection of that part. And then finishing up here by going into what is called a feature script, which is kind of like a macro or like a self-written plugin that you can do really easily in Onshape. And that feature script shows him the mass of that model, in all three of the possible materials that are used in the TooTallToby challenge. So a very clever workaround that I first saw done by Allness, the current world champion of speed modeling. I don't know if that's where it originated from or if somebody else wrote it for him, but I think that he wrote it. If you know, I don't know if you know, Airwick, if Allness was the one who originally wrote that feature script, or if there's like a signature in the feature script that says that, but regardless, it's really cool that you can create custom code, custom plugins for Onshape, and you wrote it and passed it on to him. Wow. Cool. Well, this is a cool little exchange here. So Airwick was the one who wrote it, and Airwick passed it on to Allness. That is awesome. Well, thank you for writing that. I'm going to start using that soon as well, since I've been speedrunning these things as well. It takes a little extra time at the end there to input the material, especially when it's these different materials. So I'm sure I'll have some questions for you about it, but it's awesome, man. Congratulations. It's a really cool feature script, and a really cool way to show that regardless of what the challenge is, being able to custom code something and just drop it right into Onshape is yet another huge benefit of a piece of software like that. So here we can see, I know we kind of talked through that second one because I was excited about that feature script. So let me go back to that second one and we'll just take a look at how we would maybe do a revolved part using Onshape. So here we can see starting out on the top plate. Oh, no, looks like Airwick did this with an extrude, not a revolve. So extrude and then include the draft in it. Definitely a viable solution. You could also maybe do that as a revolve, but here we can see doing an extrude and then shelling that thing out and then just adding a little bit of material because it's a non-uniform shell. The side walls are a little bit thinner than the top wall. And then creating a sketch here, and then we can see here that during the creation of this sketch, Airwick is using that multi-contour layout technique that I mentioned just a little bit earlier on the first model, where the hole that's being used for the counter bore and the boss that's sticking up the top here and the hole that's being used for the slot going across are being included here in the one sketch, or at least two of those. That taller boss that's sticking up and the hole that's in that taller boss. I guess then the final one will probably be done with the whole tool. Yeah, yep, okay. The whole tool is being used there for that final one. So the location of that was used, but then it was the final feature was created using that whole tool, which is important because in Onshape, it wants you to snap those counter bore holes to an existing point. So creating that layout there really helped Airwick to drop in that hole on that last feature. And then for this final part here, you may remember this part from earlier when Juice did it. This is kind of a weird looking part. It almost looks like a tuning fork, at least from this point of view, that has these weird circular bosses up at the top. And so deciding how you're going to center this part, deciding, you know, what you're going to use for a mirror and what you can and what you cannot use for a mirror. Like Erwick here did that circle and left kind of like the upper corner and was able to merge them together using an overlap in a common region, where when I created this in my tutorial, I did it, or I don't even know if I made a tutorial for this one. But I think I did, yeah. When I created it for my tutorial, I did it by making sure that I had enough material there on the end for the circles. So it's really cool to see the different techniques that people are using as they go through and try to do these speed runs against the clock. And then another custom script there, right? The double mirror. I remember, I think I had asked you about that. Like, how did you do that double mirror? Maybe I asked it in the one comment. But here you can see at the end, and I'm curious, Eric, did you code this one as well? You can see at the end here, there's a custom script or a custom feature here called multi-mirror that allows you to mirror about X, Y, Z independently and kind of choose which one you want to mirror about. I just think it's so cool because it's such an easy solution, but one that a lot of CAD programs don't seem to put in on their own, you know. And of course, you know, it doesn't need to be that. I don't mean to downplay how difficult it is to code an entire 3D CAD system, but I just mean as far as the interface itself goes, like, you really don't need that much as far as how you're mirroring. If you did create the thing centered on the origin and you just created one quadrant of it, it should be pretty easy to double mirror or mirror about, you know, multiple locations. So I think it's a really clever solution, and I really like the way it just kind of drops everything in. So that's what I like to show, and as a result, 2024 will have it allegedly. Yeah, I don't know. I have to look at that. You can always go to help what's new to find that out. You can go help, or I guess help.solidworks.com, right? And then here on this page, you can say, I guess 2024 is not out yet. A lot of times I'll go through here and I'll click on the what's new, and then I'll use that to kind of help figure out, you know, what's when something was added. If people ask me like when was something added, so like I'll search for it here in the what's new. It's an old tech support trick. And then, you know, just kind of helps me figure out where the thing was added. Okay, I'm just gonna leave that leave that website alone. All I did was click back. All good. It's all good, man. We can never go back. That's the thing. That's what it's trying to teach you. When you click back and you get this, it's because you can never go back. You can only move forward, right? I just wanted to share it with you. Yeah, that's the nice thing about Onshape. The open source nature of the feature code means a lot of things that are quote unquote missing from the base package get added that way, including some really quote unquote specialized features that would never be in the base form of a CAD package. Yeah, I like that a lot. I mean, it's almost like the nature of open source in general, right? That you let people figure out what they need. So a lot of times a company just doesn't know what the people really need or what they really want. And so when you open that up, when you're not super protective of your, you know, of your code, if you will, and you say like, listen, you guys can get in, mess around with it, let us know, we'll take our cue from you. You find these companies that are like really moving quickly and regularly improving in good ways. Like I remember with Onshape, it was just, you know, I remember with Onshape, Vicky, what's up, Vicky in the chat? Says, sounds like you may have audio in the background. Oh, thank you. Oh, one of the videos is playing, you're saying? Something like that. Yep, thank you. Appreciate it. That was indeed what was going on there. Yeah, so, yeah, I just think it's really cool when a company is able to move forward that quickly. Like, I think when the newer Onshape update came out with the thin feature, like it just worked. Like it was just cool that it just worked. You know, that's what I like. If an update comes out, I just want things to work. I don't want it to be like a crazy disruption to my business. I just want it to work. Nice. Okay, cool. Oh, you know what? OVYL. I think I watched some of his videos. I think he did the one video with the it was like for a paddleboard handle, and it had this crazy pattern with all these holes that were wrapping around. And I think he coded something custom for that. Was that the same person? Do you know? I'm sure you don't know his whole library of videos, but okay. Yeah. Oh, I guess you do know his whole library of videos. All right. Awesome. Awesome. Cool. All right. Well, I think that's hopefully enough time for everybody to have gotten in. Everybody who was trying that challenge to have gotten in on that wheel challenge and try to create the answer to that thing. So let's take a look here and see what, the chat has to say about this challenge. So it looks like the first answer came in here from Victor, 0.895. Airwick came in 0.8643. Victor revising 0.864. Very nicely done. Very nicely done. So Airwick just snuck in there. I saw that answer came in like one after the other. And we got James coming in here, 0.828. Very, very nicely done, James. And I think it's just you guys. You guys are in the top 3 for sure. So congratulations to our top 3 finishers. Let's find out if the answer was correct. So the correct answer here is 0.864. So very nicely done. Very nicely done here to Victor for coming in with the first answer, to Airwick for coming in with the first correct answer, for Victor for coming in with the second correct answer, and for James for coming in with the third answer here. Very nicely done to everybody for taking this challenge. This is kind of a cool model, and as I'm sure you guys know, a lot of times when I'm done creating these models on Model Monday Live, I will re-release them as practice models. So you can expect to see these as practice models. But let's everybody give Airwick and James and Victor a GG in the chat, and of course everybody else who participated. If I missed your name, I know there was at least 1 or 2 other people who did the first one there. So X-Dads got into the first one. So congratulations to everybody who did the challenge, and GG to everyone who did the challenge. And I think that's going to bring us to the end of today's live stream. It was a pretty good one today. Nice and tight here. Congratulations to all the winners. Congratulations to, oh, what's up, Chris? How you doing? Welcome. Great seeing you in here today. Oh, I think we said hi in the very beginning as well, right? Make sure that in your downtime, you guys check out the SolidBox website, mysolidbox.com. They really help you out by making sure that you get a computer that requires no IT. You know, you don't have to go to IT and write a ticket and get them to, do those tweaks to your computers, to the memory, to the BIOS, whatever. Be sure to check out the SolidWorks Expert Learns Onshape, or SW Expert Learns Onshape. This is the series that I've been doing over on the Onshape YouTube channel. So if you just check out, do a YouTube search for Toby Onshape, you'll find the series. It's an entire playlist, and it really takes you through my journey, starting out by signing up for the totally free account, creating my first models and 3D printing them using Onshape, and all the way through to including some tutorials on some of these challenges, and even a tutorial on how to do the leaderboard from April. So some pretty cool stuff going on in here. Check it out. Airwick says, lots of fun to watch. Yeah, lots of fun to read your comments, Airwick. You're giving me so much gold, so I appreciate it. And I'm trying to, to pay it forward, to take that gold and turn it into tech tips for everybody. So I really appreciate all the feedback, and anything else you got, I am always welcome. I'm like a sponge right now, so trying to sop it all up. So, and of course, we talked earlier, big news. We got the final date for the tournament. I'm going to release something next week that'll have all the dates for all the Saturdays, so you can check out those Saturdays. And as always, we'll work with the competitors to make sure that the schedules are compatible, to make sure that you're going to be able to attend all of your matches. But we're going to be running those starting in July, going all the way through to November. So we'll have 4 people compete every Saturday, just like we did last year. I really like that format. I think that format worked out great. So we'll do that. We'll do that starting in July, and we'll start the qualifiers in June. So we'll have 1 more month of leaderboard challenge. And I don't know, maybe next month we'll come up with something a little more exciting to give away. I mean, I think the t-shirts are pretty fun to give away, but I think maybe next month we'll come up with something a little more exciting. So let's see how it goes for May. But the final days of this leaderboard challenge are still available. And, it's a cool leaderboard challenge, and it gives you some great practice for the upcoming tournament. And so with that, I want to say thank you so much. James says, I'm going to hit you up soon. Maybe we can get you to do another Swagin meeting. Yeah, that would be awesome. I would love... I'm always happy to do SolidWorks users group meetings. So if anybody ever is out there and wants to do a users group meeting and needs a speaker, let me know. We can make it happen. I want to say thank you to the most amazing chat ever. I know that these have been a little sporadic. I don't know if I'm going to be doing one next week, but I'm going to try and start doing them again every Monday because we got to get back in the groove of this Model Monday Live. It's such a good companion to the Saturday tournaments. So thank you all so much for joining me for this one, the first one we've had in a little while. It's been awesome seeing everybody, awesome hanging out in the chat, and I will catch up with everybody very soon, hopefully next week. But if not, it'll be very soon after that. So thanks, everybody, and I'll see you guys soon.